Welcome guys to Rayners Racing League. This is the Formula 2 Season 2 rounds 9 and 10, and we're at the city of Baku for the Baku City Circuit at Azerbaijan. So just as we are waiting for the qualifying to start, we have got 30 minutes of qualifying. And we don't have a car out yet. We've got 16 drivers with us today. It's all quiet on the pit front. What we will do is, okay, see one car coming out, we'll jump on board with them and show you the circuit. And it looks like it's a Prima. And it's DB who is first out on track. So Azerbaijan, what can I say about that? The country itself has been ridiculed for many things, but not so much about its commitment to motorsport. It is quite committed to bringing various motorsports into the country. F1 was their main target back in 2013 when they started planning this. So a little bit about the circuit as DB is finishing his outlap. The circuit itself is 6.003 kilometers. That equates to 3.73 miles. It has 20 turns, and that is 12 to the left and 8 to the right. The circuit itself is designed by Herman Tilke, who has designed a lot of circuits of the modern era. So circuits such as Bahrain, circuits of Americas, Hanoi, so you can get a feel of where the influence comes from. And this particular circuit was actually the third option that they went for. They had two different options. One was a bit too short, one just didn't have many technical areas, and they settled for this configuration. So what I'll do is I'll jump on board with DB as he's finishing his outlap. Hopefully he stays out and we can just talk through the circuit itself so you can actually see what an onboard view will look like. Let's drop away all the information so you can see it clearly, and here we are into turn 1. Turn 1 is a 90-degree left turn, very similar to many corners that you will be seeing, and you are using as much track as you can at these points. And another turn 2, another 90-degree turn. This is the entrance to the first DRS zone. This is where you will see a lot of people pushing to take the overtake before they get into turn 3. Now turn 3, as it approaches it has got a short run-off area, so you've got to be extra careful here. A tight left-hander again, another 90-degree turn, and then follows on to turn 4 with another 90-degree turn to the right this time. As we go up to head up to turn 5. Turn 5 has a little kink beforehand, which is not recognised as a corner. Turn 5 is another sharp turn with a kind of a wide chicane, as they call it, for turn 6. As we go along up onto turn 7 now, which is at a tight double apex technically. Turn with a 2 junction onto 10, 8, 9, 10 and 11, which is the castle section. A bit wiggly there through there. It is a very highly technical. Obviously DB has invalidated that lap, so but we'll still carry on. And to turn 12 there, just going around there, so coming out of the castle section. Turn 13 is one of these kinks here. It's followed by turn 14, which is second kink. And then here we go, turn 15. Turns 13, 14 and 15 is meant to be similar to turn 8 at Turkey, which is another Herman Tilke from circuit. Round into the turn 16 DRS zone coming up soon. On to turn 17, which is a little kink there. The turn 18, 19 is a sloping chicane. Very similar effect to what you get at Canada. And we've just passed turn 20, which is just another kink. So turns 17 and 20 are kinks. And don't really count as turns in my eyes, but they are classed as turns in the FIA's rulebook. And obviously this lap will not count. It's a 155, but he did invalidate his lap as we are going to go jump on board with everything else. Now let's have a look who is next up. We've got Nismo and Jason Woodhouse. Jason Woodhouse in the Carling car alongside Ben Cardiff. Let's see what time he puts up here now as the first competitive time goes up. And that starts off with a 1:53.9. It is a good time. I'm sure we're going to see faster today, but that is a good time to start with. A little bit of a connection issue by the looks of it. If we see this in more than one car, then we know it's my fault rather than the driver's fault. Let's have a look and see, because we've got Ben Cardiff as well, who is on his fast lap. DB hopefully doesn't invalidate his lap here. Go through the castle section. The castle section is very, very tough section. You've got to kind of get that corner in perfect. So we've had a 30-minute time window for the F2 qualifying. It's quite a long time. It gives you an option to really get out there. A lot of drivers will find that they would have to take more than one lap to one, and Kyrie sets a faster time of 1:53.7. Quite competitive between some of these drivers, so we are expecting to have a high amount of overtakes and, let's say, competitive battles. And so we can see DB about to head over the line. Let's see how he does with this time now. DB with 1:54.4. So they're a little bit slower than Jason Woodhouse, but still not a bad time at all. Half a second off the pace. We do have Ben Cardiff, who is coming around 10:16 now, around 10:17 here. His teammate could have given a bit of a tow really, but his teammate could be getting a tow from Ben Cardiff right now, because it looks like he is just in the tow distance. But it looks like Jason Woodhouse will be going into the pits. Let's see what time Ben Cardiff puts out. And it's a 1:54.0. So puts himself in provisional third so far. We've had 4 drivers out putting competitive laps out. We've got Nismo, who is also on a fast lap. Let's see how he handles the castle section. The castle section again. Clips the wall there, but still doesn't invalidate his lap, as he hasn't lost any wing. But his lap has been invalidated for cutting that corner at turn 12. So we will be expecting some of these drivers to be coming in. Cairo, let's see if he puts another fast lap, or does he's invalidated that lap, and it's into the pits a little bit quick. A little bit quick coming in there, but he handles it well. Still got a lot of drivers to be coming out. Not a lot of action so far. This is the thing with with F2 qualifying. It is a long time. It gives the drivers a lot of opportunity to really go out a few times. As we are on board with Drew, being the only other driver that is out apart from Ben Cardiff and DB, who I'm sure will be headed into the pits. A little bit more about the circuit today. The circuit, as I said, the architect was Herman Tilk. The circuit was actually, first race was initially planned for 2016. Then there was a possible debut brought a year earlier when the Korean Grand Prix was cancelled due to a breach of contract. And then just before the season started, it was announced that that race was cancelled. So the Azerbaijan Grand Prix started in 2016, although it wasn't called the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It was actually called the European Grand Prix, which astoundingly is shocking because Azerbaijan is not technically a European country. But then the following year they did actually name the that Azerbaijan Grand Prix, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from 2017 onwards. It is the second longest circuit in the calendar, following Spa-Francorchamps. It has the longest straight, and Drew is coming to the pits, so everybody's back in the pits. I don't know whether that was an issue there because it just caught it saying 10 minutes. Quite bizarre. But yeah, it does have one of the longest straight sections of the circuit. If you don't count the kinks, it has one of the longest circuits in the F1 calendar. It is a high wearing circuit. There has been in the past lacerations spotted on the tyres due to the curbs. The curbs are not bolted down as you'd expect them to be. We've got Jason Woodhouse coming out on a medium tyre. Now, I think he's just getting a feel for the tyres. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on with Correct Savant, being the other driver who hasn't actually set a fast time yet. And Nismo is back out. So the tyres get lacerations because the curves that you see the drivers running on are have bolts in connecting it to the road, and these were never ever flush, always stuck out of it. So you get cars when they go over so fast they actually get lacerations, especially if you look at turn 6 right in front of us now. You can see actually the bolts there. The circuit is loved and hated worldwide by the F1 community, fans and drivers alike. A lot of drivers praise its technical difficulty in the sections such as the castle section, but also the long straights for you to get a lot of speed. But there is no room for error, so that is the problem with some of the drivers. Some of the drivers will find that it is hard for them to actually race on the circuit itself. As we've seen Correct Savant going a little bit wide in that corner there, but still within, still hasn't invalidated that lap. But yeah, there's Jensen Button and Nicky Rosberg do absolutely hate this circuit due to the fact that it's got no room for no runoff areas, which also fans out there, if they play the game, that was a little bit wide there, Correct Savant. You just couldn't get the car around at all. We need to brake a little bit more. So yeah, those two drivers are really highly against this circuit, but you do have those drivers who love it. F1 2020 drivers also are on it's like Marmite. A lot of them do love it, a lot of them hate it, and I personally love watching it, hate driving it. So while we've got a bit of time here, as we are still on board with Correct Savant, hopefully putting a fast lap in, we're going to run through the F2 standings. So we've got LH with 101 points, Rayner with 89, Apex with 69, Carter with 63, Eva Hunter on 62, and Kojuti on 41. And then the rest of the best of the rest is Magnus and Reagan both on 27, Jacobs Motorsport on 26, Correct Savant on 24, Nismo on 22, Drew on 16, Benjamin Cardiff on 10 alongside RG, DB on 4, Green Ace on 2, Liam on 1, and we've got Shiv and Cairo both without a point so far. Also we have our driver Jason Woodhouse, who has jumped into the car today without any points so far, but could be seeing him actually taking a full seat maybe. And correct Savant puts the time of 1:56.3, a little bit slow, and I think it's maybe because of the few errors he's had going around, and he has lost a bit of wing, so that is an issue that will affect him, especially in the castle section. And Drew has put a new fastest time of 1:52.7, fantastic time by Drew. Jumping on board with Carter, who is on a fast lap as he is hammering down the final section of the race, of the circuit. It's coming through. Let's see what time he hits. He's actually a very good time so far by the looks of it. A 1:53.8 puts himself in provisional third. So we got Drew 1:52.7, Kyra 1:53.7, Carter on a 1:53.8. Jason Woodhouse on a 1:53.9, Ben Cardiff on 1:54.0, Nisman on 1:54.4, DB on a 1:54.4, and Correct Savant on a 1:56.3. As we get past the halfway marker of qualifying, we still got a few drivers have not set a time. 8 drivers in total who have not set a time. And I will jump on to the constructors standing. So Univitosi on 158 points, BWT on 102, Campus on 90, Trident on 64, Dams on 57, High Tech on 51, Carlin on 36, Charles on 32, Prima on 4, and the ART team, complete polar opposite from last year, is on 0. Last year it was Rayner and LH racing for the ART team. It was last season, should say. And to be honest, it was kind of last year. It was before. It was back in December when they finished that. But yeah, we can see that the ART team is now sitting with 0 points. As I am looking to see who our next fast drivers are out. And I'll be honest, I think Carter is actually putting out another fast lap out there because he's done quite well. He has taken off some temps in Sector 1. And Carter actually takes provisional pole with a 1:52.5. I should be expecting to see drivers such as Code Duty, Apex, Rayner, LH all coming out soon. Evil Hunter, Magnus and Green should also be entering as well themselves. I would say I'm unsure about Liam, because Liam does have a tendency of sometimes missing out on qualifying and focusing on the race, and I do not fault him. His race pace is actually quite decent. He does actually battle up through. So we are waiting for other drivers now to come out. Jason Woodhouse on another outlap on the super soft tyres. Let's see how Nismo's doing, because Nismo has invalidated that last lap, and I think he will be heading straight into the pits. Kyra has retired from the session. Unsure why. Don't think that was a driving incident, and Nisma is into the pits. Now Carter is going a bit slower than he has previously, so he should be headed into the pits. 10 minutes left to go of this, and we've got Green Ace who's actually coming out on an outlap, and I do see other drivers actually about to leave the pits. So I'm going to stay on board with Green Ace, as we do want to see what time he puts out. And we've got Quad Duty. Now Quad Duty is someone I might jump over to very shortly, because Quad Duty is a contender for pole, and we don't want to miss out on a fast lap, do we? So, I'll be honest, Green Ace's helmet is quite green. I'm not too sure about the Ace part, I will be honest. But I joke. Green Ace is one of his racers. He has got a fantastic racecraft, and he is quite competitive. A little bit of a glitch there, and a little bit wide on that corner. But I'm gonna jump over to. Has he? No, he hasn't invalidated that lap. We do have Liam, who's actually on an out lap as well. Magnus on an out lap, and Quad Duty. I'm going to jump on board with Quad Duty because Quad Duty will be the guy I will be watching. So will Apex, so will Rainer, and so will LH. Quite important for these drivers to actually keep in the loop with the faster drivers to see what they're going to be doing. So I am. Bear with me 1 moment while I just put up the stream onto the chat. So now let's. We are watching board with Tuesday. I will be a bit quiet while we're watching this. And it is up on the stream for anybody to watch. So we've got 8 minutes left of the qualifying session. And see how he does now. This is absolutely fantastic lap by Quad Duty. I kept quiet there to allow you to enjoy the spectacle that it was Quad Duty's lap. Let's see what time he puts up for first attempt. With a 150.8, puts himself massively into pole position. We do have Apex, who is out on a fast lap, Rainer on an out lap. So we're going to stick on. We're going to jump over Apex to see how he does. Quad Duty does actually need a good showing here today to actually start putting the gap between himself and the faster drivers, I wouldn't say faster drivers, the other drivers, back into the mix, because he is starting to fall down with the 41 points. He needs to make 21 points to actually catch up with Eva Hunter, 22 to catch up with Carter, and 28 to actually catch up with Apex. So does look like these could be running away with it if they carry on the way they're going. Let's see how. I do like that look of Apex's helmet. I might have to actually find out where he got that design from. Now, there is some drivers in front of Apex. I am not sure if they're going to hamper him, but they could actually be helpful when it comes down to the final straight. And I think it is Rainer that's actually in front of him. I think that is Rainer, is it? It is Rainer that's in front of us. So Apex could be using Rainer's slipstream to actually propel him up onto a faster time. Here we go. Let's see how Apex does. DRS is open. A 152.6 puts himself in third provisionally. I'm going to jump on board with Rainer, and we've got because Rayner is our next driver to be putting out fast lap. And the comments are coming in. I will be jumping on, have a look at the comments in a moment, because these next 5 minutes are quite important for us to see. See, Rayner is putting out a good lap here. Could have done with having Apex in front of him to give him himself a bit of time, but he purple sector 1. Not sure whether that is down to the fact that it is his fastest lap, or whether he's got the fastest sector of his of everyone, but it's purple sectored anyway. Cuts the corner into the castle section very nicely, and very well done throughout the whole of the castle section there by Rayner. Now I am expecting a few little minor bumps and scrapes on the castle section, as per any normal race. As he rounds off time 15, this wall here is absolutely a disaster zone. It's like a wall of champions really as well. Bless myself then, excuse me. As Rayner now comes through turn 17, now into turn 18 and 19, very fast here. This is where a lot of drivers can be caught out. Around turn 20, nice line through that corner there. DRS is open, and let's see what time he puts out for everybody to compete against. So it's a 151.4, a little bit slower than Duty, but not far off, and Apex improves with a 152.3. So Rayner does have a bit of a comfort zone there, and I've got to jump on board with LH. Now, I was just seeing the side of Correct Savant's helmet there. It does look a bit like Optimus Prime a bit. Let's have a look. Now, LH following the Prima quite well there. Might use the Prima for a bit of a tow, but it's quite important now that LH uses this opportunity to warm his tyres up so he can get the best time really for his fast lap. I'm going to jump on board with Evil Hunter, as he has not set a fast lap yet, and he has started his fast lap, so jump on board with him for a little while. I do think that Quad Duty has put a time up there that is quite tough to beat, but not impossible. I do know some of these drivers can compete with Quad Duty's time. Been quite impressed with his racecraft, Quad Duty. When I first started watching him, he was always in the mix of the top runners, but this is another level now. Quad Duty has really excelled when it's coming to these new 2020 F2 cars. So we've got Eva Hunter, and where's Magnus sitting at the moment? And I think, has he got damage there? I think Eva Hunter has the damaged wing. Now Magnus is a little bit behind Eva Hunter, and so where's LH? LH is starting this fast lap. It is quite important for LH to actually put a good lap out, because he will be competing, and Rayners put a new faster time of 151.1. So close of, well, just below 1.2, or 51.2. Sector time of 39.4. See, this is like a one-lap shootout for LH44. It is quite important for him to do really well, and it's Azerbaijan. It's a long circuit. One mistake could be the difference between pole and basically not putting a competitive time in. We got Magnus on a 152.1, a very good time there by Magnus. Puts himself in provisional third but I'm still on board with LH, who is actually following Rayners all the way in. And Rayners moves out the way to allow LH to get through. Doesn't give him a toe, which is actually quite good to see that he doesn't do that. As we can see, let's see what time he gives us. Oh, 150.3. Absolutely took that lap time as a challenge and smashed it. Absolutely fantastic lap time there. Right, so as we're going to run through the time so far, we do have other drivers on the circuit. So we have LH on a 150.3 with Quad Duty on a 150.7. Now Quad Duty is out there still. I don't know if he actually is having a competitive lap time or not. Rayners on a 151.1. Magnus on a 152.1. Just short of a second behind Rayners. Apex on a 152.3, Cart on a 152.5, Grenades on a 152.6, Drew on a 152.7. Got Liam on a 153.3, Jason on a 153.5, Cairo on a 153.7, Nisbet on a 153.7, just 15 thousandths behind Cairo. Ben Cardiff on a 154.0. Correct Savant on 154.4, DB on 154.4. Evil Hunter not set a time. And that time there did not make any difference to his qualifying time. He still qualifies second Quad Duty. As we do have the end of qualifying, now we have LH in pole, Quad Duty in second with Rayners in third, Magnus in fourth, Apex in fifth, Carter in sixth with Green Ace in seventh, Drew in eighth, Liam in ninth, Jason Woodhouse in 10th, we've got Cairo in 11th, Nisbo in 12th, Ben Cardiff in 13th, Correct Savant in 14th, DB in 15th, and Evil Hunter in 16th. And we'll just have a quick look because it is cross the pit lane exit white line. So that's Correct Savant and Drew. Now I will be completely honest, that there is an ongoing issue for this circuit, and if I see anybody exploiting it, I will be letting the stewards know, because I do think it's a bit harsh if you can gain an advantage by getting onto the circuit earlier. That's especially during safety cars. If you do it during a safety car, I will be saying something straight up. But here we go. We do have our drivers all looking to work out what strategy they're going on. Strategy would be I would say it's a 2-stop race, but this is Baku, so we could see people having 7-8 stops really. Accidents happen, wings will be broken, tires may get punctured. We will see what it brings to us as drivers are slowly confirming the settings. So this is 3.7 miles of pure heated walled racing in front of us now as we're about to start. I don't understand why Codemasters put the dandelion fluff floating around Azerbaijan, because they're not native in that country. It's unbelievable. And we do have an error with Liam so far. He's the only driver that we're waiting for. Come on, Codemasters, this should be sorted by now. And the formation lap is underway. And now as the formation lap is underway, I'm going to have a little look. So we've got Sizen, who's got Yo Ferret with a J. So we've got Magda saying hello. Kyra did not crash, mate. don't think I could improve my time. Well, Karen, you can never improve while you're off. But just keep the comments coming, guys. I like to hear from you all during the race. I will be getting the chat stream up very shortly on my phone. I'm just letting it charge a bit so it can survive the end of the race, or I'll wait until after the feature race to have the chat open. And we're just running through the formation lap. Formation lap is gotta be a tedious business really up there for a lot of viewers. It's just so long. Perfect opportunity for drivers to warm those tyres up, especially in the F2 cars without the heating facilities. The one thing like with the F2 cars, the F2 cars, they don't have tyre blankets, so the tyres are actually at air temperature when they are put onto the car. They also have a problem with the fact that because of how small the tyre is, the heat from the brakes does not transpose into the tyre itself, which with the model with the F1 cars so far they do. But with the F1 wheels changing into this style, we will be seeing those kind of races again. As they take the opportunity to warm the tyres up on the straights like any good person would. So we've got LH, Quaduti, Rayner, Magnus, Apex, Carter, Green Ace, Drew, Liam, Jason Woodhouse, Cairo, Nismo, Ben Cardiff, Kirk Savant, DB, and Evil Hunter. So we'll get to that moment now where all the cars are going to start lining up now to get into the grid, get onto the grid for formation in the best in their positions, and see who gets the best run out. I would put it down that the first corner we may see a little bit of a shunt. We've got 15 laps of pure racing here. I say wall to wall action because it is between two walls. So you can see Evil Hunter just lining himself up. I want to find a good view for this camera. I think this is to be the best view. I was waiting for the cars to get in. Everybody's waiting. Could be a connection issue. I hope not, because it will ruin the race. Rayners gone AI. I think he's looking to sort that out. Green Ace is AI. And there is our culprit.